Hello, and welcome to CLEA'S World. I'm CLEA, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I received from the 25th dimension during my last BQH, Beyond Quantum Healing hypnosis session. I will be reading from a transcript, and when I refer to Lorraine, I'm speaking of the hypnotist who's asking me questions I prepared in advance of the session. And when I refer to me, I'm speaking of myself under hypnosis, which means that the answers are coming from the 25th dimension. Before we move forward, I'd like to ask you, though, to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And please do give a thumbs up to this video and leave me a comment below, because I love reading all your comments and I want to hear if the stuff resonates with you. All right, so let's jump in. Lorraine. Okay. You told us that an NPC, and by NPC she means non-player character, which basically means it's this body, the shell that we use here on this planet, and but it's a body that doesn't have an essence. So in other words, it doesn't have a soul inside of it. So again, you told us that an NPC can get run over by a truck or have an accident that takes them out. So do true accidents happen where no essence has decided to take itself out and bodies still die? Me. So accidents can happen, yes, in the sense of when we set up with our thought, we set up certain things to happen. So for example, we set up a volcano to erupt that could kill an NPC. The NPC did not choose for the volcano to erupt, or Gaia decided the volcano was going to erupt. And the NPC is caught in the middle of it. So yeah, I mean, this is what we call accidents, meaning there was no essence that wanted to kill the NPC, or there was no essence within the body that decided that this is how I'm going to take my body out, so I'm out of here. So I can leave and go do something else. In that sense, it is an accident, meaning that it wasn't just done specifically for this particular body to have an experience. It's just the body just happened to be there. Lorraine, thank you. You said that astrology is just an idea, but is it an idea that affects NPCs? Do they have different personalities based on the day and place they were born? If not, it seems that NPCs have different personalities. How can that be if they're just bodies? Me, yes and no, meaning that astrology is still an idea, and so it doesn't really affect in absolute terms. Does not really affect a body unless the person wants to believe in it. However, NPCs have different personalities because this is how we want them to be. We wanted many different options for the type of experience to have. And obviously certain personalities or certain body types, because personality is just like the body type, you know, there's no better or worse. It's just a different combination. It's like we're putting together different combinations. Instead of making 100 cookies that are all the same, each cookie is different. And so that's what we mean. And that's why NPCs have different feels to them, which might go from how they look to how they express themselves, to how they feel about things. Absolutely. So each one is different. This is for variety. This is for fun. It would not be fun to have clones, basically. Everybody looking the same or being the same. So personality in that sense is simply because it's a different version of an NPC. Lorraine. Thank you. Okay, Claire is asking, is it not the essence that imbues a body with personality? Me. The essence can also do that, yes, but the essence can only work within the confines of what it already finds. Now, it's not that the essence gets trapped and stuck with dealing with something because the essence has chosen the NPC to start with. However, if the NPC has a certain personality, say, for example, to get angry, you know, the essence is going to have a very hard time to calm the NPC, especially in moments when the NPC is not listening. But over time, this might be the reason why this particular essence has chosen this NPC, was to have this experience, to learn, how can I be calm? How can I be? So basically, it's not by chance that an essence picks or gets matched with, ends up with a certain personality that they're dealing with. So the personality, the essence, of course, what we call personality, is simply the essence has different preferences as to what it wants to experience. And personality, what we consider personalities, is really, it's a body thing where certain propensities, okay? Again, we've talked about this before. For example, Certain bodies are not meant to excel at basketball because they might be too short for the sport. So the essence will work with that, right? So the essence could try to push a 4-foot tall body as much as possible to play basketball. But eventually, at some point, it's going to have to stop. And maybe this is what the essence wanted to experience. But that's the thing. So yeah, sometimes the personality of the NPC is simply another experience that the essence wants to have. Lorraine, thank you. Will NPCs suffer when this is taken down? CLEA says she feels sad that they will die even though there are no essences, even children in animal bodies. It seems unfair to her that we are ending their existence because we screwed up this game. CLEA knows an NPC, and we'll just call her Mary, who she loves, and Mary acts just like a person with an essence, so she doesn't want her to die. Me. Yeah, so they will not suffer, as in it will be an instant. When we take this down, it will be an instant. The NPCs, again, we are grateful for them. We don't think of them as being nothing, but at the same time, it is the essences that really, when we think of everything that we interact with, it really is the essence. So in that sense, we're going to take this down, and the NPCs are going to be gone. And again, it's unfortunate that we didn't want anything. I mean, if you think about it, all the plants, all the animals, all these are going to be bodies left behind. But again, we're going to take this down and do it again, you know, and do it better. That's all. So yes, it's hard for us to, from a 3D perspective, to separate ourselves from the body in the sense of from the experience that the body would have if we weren't here. But at the end of the day, the body wouldn't know. It would be doing its own thing and all of a sudden gone. So there's not going to be suffering per se tied to the takedown. It's not going to be a shattering of expectations. I think CLEA is feeling as if this was happening to her or to people like her, you know, with an essence, who basically had dreams and this kind of thing. And all of a sudden, you're having this taken away by somebody. It's not quite like that. NPCs are more automated than that. They don't necessarily have, they're not necessarily working on experiences or lessons. They're just going along with the flow. And in fact, Mary, that's a good example of that. Mary just goes along with things. She could be doing this for a week. She could be doing this for 10 years. It's all the same to her. But she's not going to suffer. These NPCs are not going to suffer when this is taken down. And I have to tell you, this did give me comfort because I find it extremely hard for me to separate between what the body, because my body suffers like every other body, right? We feel pain, we feel things with our body. And so it's very hard to tell what is the essence's experience versus the body's experience. So this was a comfort to me in many ways, this answer. So in case you've been wondering about what's going to happen when the NPCs are left with their essences, we're taking this down, then I hope this answer provides some comfort to you as well. Lorraine, thank you. Thank you for that information. This planet is 9 billion years old. How long ago were the NPCs created here? Animal and human alike. Me. So I'm getting 4.5 billion years ago. Basically, everything was, the NPCs were here, were put here, and we have tempered with them. We've changed things about them, but this is when they became available. Lorraine, what did NPCs do before the essences moved in 500 years ago? Did they have what we consider normal lives, eating, sleeping, etc.? Or were they just lying around waiting? Me. They didn't really have to do any of this. Yeah. So they were just being. The things that we have introduced and we believe that are tied to the NPCs, and again, we've changed how they work, is things that, the way that we consider our bodies now, we need food and we need to excrete and do all these things. These things are all due to how we wanted to change the bodies. And it's all things that we have decided that that's how they would be. So yeah, these bodies had because really, what were they doing? They didn't need to hunt. They didn't need to do any of that. And they didn't need to go to work. So yeah, they were just hanging out. but they didn't have to do a lot of things we assume must be done by bodies nowadays. Lorraine, thank you. Since NPCs can live without the essence, why take this planet down at all after we're gone? Why not leave it for them to continue their lives? Do they have no value? Do their lives have no value? Me. Yes, so we understand CLEA's sadness at what is happening. She's having a hard time feeling like things are ending, and it's not fair to the NPCs to take this away from them. But at the end of the day, this is a game board that we set up for our own use. This is the only reason it exists. So it makes no sense to keep a planet unoccupied with no future in mind, no plan for it in mind forever, just because it's not going to be used by essences. Essences are not going to come here. We've already done this. We're ready for something new. And so in that sense, yes, we're going to take it down and it's going to be fine. The NPCs are going to be fine because, again, it's something we've created. It's something that exists because we want to believe in it. So yeah, this was a lot for me, I have to tell you. Again, I have had sadness tied to the fact that we are taking this down. So I'm glad that 21st is providing these answers for me. And I'm assuming if I feel this way, some of you might as well. So for us. All right, Lorraine. On that same note, CLEA feels like the same disregard for these bodies is seen in the same way we have allowed things like commercial animal feeding operations to survive, where bodies are horribly tortured just so we could create low vibration energy because these operations, quote unquote, do the job. CLEA is having trouble separating the existence of the NPC from that of the essence, especially since you told us that the only difference is that the essence can learn. We do feel pain with our bodies here, and we're allowed a lot of pain to be inflicted on these bodies, and now we're getting ready to discard them without a second thought. The fact that animals come here without a veil, and now they get tortured and eaten is a lot to take. It seems that calling us the team of the light is a misnomer. We might as well have been called the yellow and the green team versus the light and the dark, because we've done so much low vibrational stuff, and we have done as much as the dark team. Can you comment on this? Me. Yes, and we have. And this is exactly what is going to be hard to accept for both sides, because we have thought we were above certain things, that we would never do certain things while we are doing them. Right now, we are doing them. They are happening under our watch, allowed by us, envisioned by us on this planet right now, and we are part of it. And the same story for the other side, the other team. They're also going to be feeling like they were horrible because they did it, without realizing that we all did it. It doesn't matter who's actually raising the knife, because we've all been like, yeah, go ahead, you do that. So really, they've had the hardest job if you think about it. If we all wanted this to happen, they're the ones that went ahead and did it. So it's really tough. They took this for the team. They really did take one for the team. Because at the end of the day, we all decided this was going to be acceptable here. So yes, it is very hard for CLEA to conceive that these animals, because they are innocent in that sense, in the way that we like to think of innocence, where we say, oh, we haven't done. We humans have done. We essences have done in these human bodies. The animals, though, they also came in with certain, in wanting to maintain the vibration on this planet. So in that sense, they also were okay with certain things happening. For example, they agreed to being eaten for consumption purposes as a rule here. So in that sense, they agreed to this. Now, they did not agree. There was no need for the torture and the horrible, the horrors of the things they have been done to them. But the point is, everyone who's come to this planet has participated. Some knowingly, some on the surface unknowingly, some absolutely look like victims, like a lot of these animals. But really, truly, at the end of the day, nobody's a victim. No one is a victim. And the animals are aware of that. And so they actually don't feel about certain things the same way we feel about certain things. which doesn't make those things okay. We all understand and we all agree that this is not okay, or we wouldn't be taking this down. But it does make it understandable in terms of, okay, that's what we knew. That's what we thought. We thought we were doing well. We thought this was a good idea. Unfortunately, in hindsight, it wasn't. And so that's why we got to stop it. And that's what we're doing. But again, we didn't do it out of malice. We did it because we thought this was necessary. We just didn't understand what other ways, better ways, this game could be played. So the animals, yeah, I mean, they do look like they've gotten the short end of the stick in many ways. But the truth is, again, it was an experience they wanted to have here. There are many other places they could have gone to. The essence could have gone to have a completely different experience. So yeah, but in that sense, yes, we have allowed a lot of pain to be heaped on these bodies. And it's not that we don't take it in stride as in, it's okay. We've said this many times, it's not okay. We wish we had done this differently. But at the same time, it is what it is. In the sense that this is what we've done, and now we just have to move on and do better. All right, I'm gonna end here because I think this was a lot, and I wanna thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.